Today, I'm also signing an executive order to instruct the Departments of Defense and Homeland Security to begin preparing the 30,000-person migrant facility at Guantanamo Bay. Most people don't even know about it. We have 30,000 beds in Guantanamo to detain the worst criminal illegal aliens threatening the American people. Some of them are so bad we don't even trust the countries to hold them because we don't want them coming back, so we're going to send them out to Guantanamo. This will double our capacity immediately, right? And that's a tough place to get out of. Today's signings bring us one step closer to eradicating the scourge of migrant crime in our communities once and for all. And it was just it's just an unforced error that we even have to be doing this. Now we need Congress to provide full funding for the complete and total restoration of our sovereign borders, as well as financial support to remove record numbers of illegal aliens.
Outrage and fear is spreading fast after Donald Trump's shocking announcement to sign an executive order instructing the Department of Defense and Homeland Security to prepare the 30,000-person migrant facility at Guantanamo Bay. Now, the facility, touted as a solution to detain the worst criminal illegal aliens, has sparked widespread concern among Americans, with many questioning who will foot the bill for this massive undertaking. Hello guys, and welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, then don't forget to subscribe, turn on your notification bell so that you don't have to miss on any of our interesting videos, and do give us a thumbs up on our videos if you like our content. Now, as Trump boasts about the facility's 30,000 beds, critics are slamming the move as a blatant disregard for human rights. Many are drawing parallels to concentration camps, and some are even refusing to pay taxes that would support such a facility. The backlash is fierce, with many demanding answers on how this will be funded and what it means for the future of immigration in America. So in this video, we'll take a look into the reactions of everyday people as they grapple with the implications of Trump's announcement, from concerns about human rights and the rule of law to questions about the economic and social impact. We will explore it all. So with that said, let's take a look at these videos as different people react to his announcement. I will be right back.
We have some major breaking news right now. Donald Trump has just announced that he is signing an executive order later today that will instruct the Department of Defense and DHS to prepare a 30,000 in-person migrant facility at Guantanamo Bay. No, I'm not making this up. Guantanamo Bay is the prison facility in Cuba that has notoriously held enemy combatants of the United States, many of which have been released, but some of which, including the perpetrator of 9/11, is still being held there. And now Donald Trump is trying to turn the rest of Guantanamo Bay into a migrant holding facility to facilitate mass deportations. He is saying that there will be 30,000 beds available. Guantanamo Bay is notorious for, among other things. This is extremely scary, and Donald Trump just made this announcement at a press conference in the White House. That's my source, directly from Donald Trump.
I got a serious question. Who's gonna pay these damn Guantanamo Bay taxes? I'm not paying for migrants to be put in house at a concentration camp. I'm not putting my tax dollars to harm people. Y'all won't be getting no tax dollars from me. And for everybody else, we don't have to pay taxes. It's going to take them years to come get our that. Let the 1% pay for Guantanamo Bay. I did not sign up for my taxes to harm people and to make concentration camps in 2025. This is a big human rights issue. If anybody sees anything good about this, may God strike you where you are.
Congratulations, everyone. Day 9, and we've already reached the concentration camp stage. Really didn't take very long, did it? Trump announced just about an hour ago that he's preparing the facility at Guantanamo Bay for 30,000 migrants. And if you need a little refresher on Guantanamo, or Gitmo, it's the site where the U.S. famously held and tortured hundreds of individuals who had never been convicted of any crimes for years. Surely, you say, that's illegal. Yeah. See, the U.S. argued that the Geneva Convention did not apply here because they weren't holding prisoners of war, but rather illegal combatants, a term that isn't real. They also argued that they weren't entitled to due process guaranteed under American laws because technically Guantanamo Bay was not in America. It's an American base, technically in Cuba, jurisdictional no man's land. And if you say, surely they're not going to stick just any migrants in there, only the worst criminals. Yeah, this announcement was made as he was signing the Laken-Riley Act, an act which legalizes the detainment and imprisonment of immigrants who are just accused of a crime. Accused. Not prosecuted and proven of anything, just accused. And if you see nothing wrong with this just because they're migrants, congratulations, you're exactly what we call you. And by the way, the efforts to expand the definitions of non-citizens and unauthorized immigrants are no coincidence, okay? I hope you're proud of yourselves.
I swear to God, every time I put my phone down, I think I can get away, and then I see something else that Donald Trump has done. Oh, so now you mean to tell me that he's going to be putting migrants at Guantanamo Bay? 30,000 migrants at Guantanamo. Have we not seen this movie before? Have we not seen this one before? I'm on the ground. How are these not concentration camps? How is this not a concentration camp? Because he says there's a detention center outside of the regular prison. He's just, okay, yeah, sure, I trust you. So in the press conference, he said that this is only going to be for the high-level criminals that are going to get detained there. But I don't think that they're going to be... Why would I believe you? I just heard a story about a Puerto Rican family getting detained because they were speaking Spanish in Milwaukee. People are going to get hurt. We have to stay on top of this. I hope you're taking some time off of your phone to get away from this, but this is awful. This is scary, and this is not normal.
I doubt that these people will be right back. Trump said he will order the construction of a mass detainment camp that can hold 30,000 deportees at the Guantanamo Bay Naval Base, outlining plans Wednesday for the largest U.S. facility of its kind. Does that sound like they're coming right back? Guantanamo Bay is notorious for holding enemy combatants, enemy of our state. And to build a detainment center there, for migrants whose countries won't accept them back, or migrants who have nowhere to go, sounds a lot like Japanese internment camps. Sounds a lot like internment camps. Sounds a lot like detaining and placing people under permanent arrest based off what they look like, based off their ethnicity, and based off if you perceive them to be said ethnicity. The ICE raids have now entered to the Navajo Nation, and there have been reports of ICE targeting natives and as part of their efforts to detain migrants. At least 15 people in Arizona and New Mexico have been reported being stopped at their homes and workplaces, questioned or detained by federal law enforcement, and asked to produce proof of citizenship during immigrant raids since Wednesday, according to Navajo Nation. This is absurd. This is absurd. Anyone who's watching this who may be perceived Latino, brown, ethnically ambiguous, whatever you want to call it, please carry around your identification. Please carry around your identification. Please carry around your identification, because they're rounding up everyone.
A 30,000 immigrant detention facility in Guantanamo Bay. This is giving a lot of what we felt in Gaza and what was happening, how helpless we were. It's giving me flashbacks of they're just gonna do whatever the hell they want. This isn't okay. What the hell are we gonna do about that? What are we gonna do about that? What are we gonna do about that? Is it because you're orange? Oh, I know who you voted for. All right.
News. The President of the United States has now decided that Guantanamo Bay is going to house 30,000 of the worst illegal immigrants, which, by the way, I guarantee you that there aren't 30,000 illegal immigrants that deserve to be in that facility, let alone any. When, let's be so real, we, America, the president, aided this. You have decided to put people with charges, stealing something simple from a grocery store, in a place where they used to house military personnel that did war crimes. And you want me to sit in my customer service job and answer phone calls when in Germany, okay, before the cost, the camps were called detention centers. He's calling it a detention center. Not only that, I mean, to state obvious, which we have to do a lot, these people aren't from Guantanamo Bay. The people they're not from... Girl, let me collect myself. This is despicable. That is for the lack of worst words I can say about the president of the country in the world. You are unjust, unfit, and committing treason. And Congress can take the stick out of their and not only impeach the president of the United States, but arrest the president of the United States, just as he should have been several months ago. And every month following those several months ago. And lastly, I endorse this message harder than any message I've ever endorsed in my life, and I'm not sorry for it.
One of the concerns I have with the whole deportation, the illegal immigrants, all the things, right? Especially like the conversation me and my boyfriend were having, and my boyfriend was just like, well, they're criminals, like they're numbers. Says who? Like, I just hope that whoever's supposed to be screening for these things is doing their due diligence and really making sure they're getting the correct people, because with Trump announcing that he's opening up that migrant facility in Guantanamo Bay and over 30,000 people are going to go there, I can't help but to think that there's going to be people rounded up there that's not supposed to be there. Just like people fall into the prison system that's just like they not supposed to be there. It's just like, who's going to be the mouthpiece for the people that aren't supposed to go? Like, I don't know. And I think a lot of people that support this are just like got that mindset where they're criminals, they're illegally here and all those things. And I just hope that that's true. You know what I mean? This migrant facility is given very much like concentration camps. It's really just because it's not affecting me personally doesn't mean that I'm not affected by it, because I'm thinking about, like, they're playing on our humanity. You know what I mean? They're playing on our humanity. Let's just hope that these really are the criminals and all that he's saying they are members and all that, or they're just helpless people who came here illegally. Like, who's who? We need to start having that conversation too. We know that within every job, people don't do their job right. So I would just hate for this to be a thing where the people are not going to the places they're supposed to be going because they're being stereotyped, or, you know.
Now, U.S. President Donald Trump said yesterday, Wednesday, that he will order the Pentagon and the Department of Homeland Security to prepare a migrant detention facility at Guantanamo Bay for as many as 30,000 migrants. Now, the U.S. naval base in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, already houses a migrant facility, separate from the high-security U.S. prison for foreign terrorism suspects that has been used on occasion for decades, including to hold Haitians and Cubans picked up at sea. Now, Trump's border Caesar Tom Homan said late on Wednesday that the administration would expand the already existing facility and that the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency would run it. Today, I'm also signing an executive order to instruct the Departments of Defense and Homeland Security to begin preparing the 30,000-person migrant facility at Guantanamo Bay, Trump said at the White House. Now, he said the facility would be used to detain the worst criminal illegal aliens threatening the American people. Some of them are so bad we don't even trust the countries to hold them because we don't want them coming back. So we are going to send them out to Guantanamo. This will double our capacity immediately. Now, soon after, Trump signed a memorandum which did not have a number of migrants in it but called for additional detention space at the expanded facility. Speaking with reporters on Wednesday, Homan said the center would be used for the worst of the worst. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem asked how much money would be required for the facility, said the administration was working on it with reconciliation and appropriators in Congress. Now, the detention facility at Guantanamo Bay was set up in 2002 by then U.S. President George W. Bush to detain foreign militant suspects following the September 11, 2001 attacks on the United States. There are 15 detainees left in the prison. Now, Trump's two Democratic predecessors, Barack Obama and Joe Biden, sought to shut down the Guantanamo prison and were only able to reduce its inmate population, but Trump has vowed to keep it open. The jail has long been condemned by human rights groups for indefinite detention and came to symbolize the early excesses the U.S. war on terror because of harsh interrogation methods that critics say amounted to torture. Now, the facility for migrants is separate from the detention center on the base. Cuban president called Trump's plan an act of brutality. Now, pro-refugee groups have called for the Guantanamo migrant facility to be closed and for Congress to investigate alleged abuses there. The International Refugee Assistance Project said in a 2024 report that detainees described unsanitary conditions, families with young children housed together with single adults, a lack of access to confidential phone calls, and the absence of educational services for children. Now, on Tuesday, the U.S. military said that it would allow Immigration and Customs Enforcement to detain migrants at Berkeley Space Force Base in Colorado. The decision comes on top of U.S. military deportation flights of migrants out of the country and the deployment of just over 1,600 active duty troops to the U.S. border with Mexico following Trump's emergency declaration on immigration last week. Trump made the announcement during a ceremony in which he signed into law the Laken-Riley Act, the first legislation to get his signature since his return to the White House. The bill, named in memory of a nursing student unalived by an undocumented immigrant in Georgia, allows the detention of undocumented immigrants accused of theft-related crimes. President Donald Trump's plan to build a detention camp for immigrants at Guantanamo Bay Naval Base should horrify us all, said Vince Warren, executive director of the Center for Constitutional Rights. In a statement Wednesday, Warren said the plan sends a clear message that migrants and asylum seekers are being cast as a new terrorist threat. Now, the White House announced a short time later that Trump had signed a presidential memorandum on Guantanamo. Migrant rights groups quickly expressed dismay. Guantanamo Bay's abusive history speaks for itself, and in no uncertain terms will put people's physical and mental health in jeopardy, said Program Director of Detention Watch Network. In a statement, Trump said the move would double U.S. detention lockup capacities, and Guantanamo is a tough place to get out of. Now, the Guantanamo facility could hold dangerous criminals and people who are hard to deport, said a Trump administration official speaking on condition of anonymity because they weren't authorized to speak publicly on the matter. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said his department can set up a detention center very rapidly and called Guantanamo Bay a perfect spot. We don't want illegal criminals in the United States, not a minute longer than they have to be, he said Wednesday evening on Fox News. Move them off to Guantanamo Bay, where they can be safely maintained until they are deported to their final location, their country of origin. Now, the U.S. government's decision to imprison migrants at the Guantanamo Naval Base, in an enclave where it created torture and indefinite detention centers, shows contempt for the human condition and international law, Cuban Foreign Minister Bruno Rodriguez wrote in a post on X. The Supreme Court ruled in 2008 that enemy combatants in the war on terror held without charge at the military prison at Guantanamo had the right to challenge their detention in federal court. But the justices did not decide whether the president had the authority to detain people at all. We have finally come to the end of the video, but what do you our viewers have to say? Share your thoughts, your views as well in the comment section. Thank you for always watching and see you in our next video as we bring you another video.